Hello, guys. Welcome to Rex Arthur TV. This is the Rex Arthur Show, the LGBTQ channel that discusses LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ perspective and an LGBTQ approach in an LGBTQ plus planet where each of us belongs to one letter in the LGBTQ plus sexual alphabet or more than one, which is why we're doing this video during this Rex Arthur Marathon RAM. And this is a marathon where we do very many videos in one day, depending on, sometimes I wake up with a lot of thoughts. So that's what happened today. And I decided to do these videos. Now, so we're on the second last video, and this is called the sexual alphabet, the omnisexual letters. Now, why are we saying omnisexual? Omnisexual means a sexual orientation that is found in all orientations. And we're going to list them today. So the omnisexual letters are the omnisexual sexual orientations. Now, let's go through the sexual alphabet. L, lesbian. G, gay. B, bisexual. T, transgender. I, intersex. LGBT, double Q. Okay, Q, queer. Number 6, questioning. Number 7, intersex. Number 8, asexual. Number 9, ally. Number 10, pansexual. So let's go through them again number-wise. Number 1, lesbian. Number 2, gay. Number 3, bisexual. Number 4, transgender. Number 5, queer. Number 6, questioning. Number 7, intersex. Number 8, asexual. Number 9, ally. And number 10, pansexual. Of course, there are many others out there. People are picking this demisexual and all of these. So it's up to you to pick whichever you want. Now, what you need to understand is there are some letters which are omnisexual, meaning they are found in all orientations. So let's find the ones which are not found in all orientations. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and yes, those are the only three that cannot, they are not omnisexual. They are sexual specific. A lesbian is a woman who has sex with another woman. A gay is a man who has sex with a man. A bisexual is a person who has sex with both men and women. Those ones are sexual specific. There is no lesbian who has sex with a man. If she has sex with a man, she is a bisexual. There is no gay man who has sex with a woman. If he has sex with a woman, then he's a bisexual. That is what we mean by sexual specific. Those are the only three identities that are sexual specific. The rest, the 7, they are omnisexual. Now let's go to the first one, transgender. Why do we call transgender omnisexual? It's because you can be a trans man who is a trans man. Okay, for the transgender, you can put them, they are half omnisexual, half specific sexual. Because a trans man is a man who was born a woman. That's why I've called them omnisexual, because they know what it means to be a woman. But the trans man can be gay or bisexual. because he's a trans man. And then before they were a trans man, they could have been a lesbian. That's why I've put transgenders as omnisexual. Because sometimes before you become a trans man, sometimes you exhibit lesbianism. You're macho, you're a butch, and you play with your girlfriends when you're in your teens. You play with them as a man. I'm a man, but I'm a woman. Then as you grow up, then you say, you know what, I think I'll just become a trans man. I'll transition. So that lesbian becomes a trans man, and then now transitions to be a trans man. Then, as a trans man, has sex with a woman as if, as a man. The trans man has sex with a woman as a man. So that makes them also heterosexual. You see, it's a very weird thing because a trans man is a man. So when a man has sex with a woman, that's heterosexual sex. So when a trans man has sex with a woman, that's heterosexual sex. You see, that's why there has been war in the LGBT community, because they wonder whom do transgenders stand with. Some transgenders actually are heterosexual in the sense that the trans woman sleeps with men. That makes it heterosexual. The trans man sleeps with women. That makes the relationship heterosexual. Even though in the past, before the transition, it makes their relationship homosexual, because the trans man used to be a woman when they were young or before transition. So it's just like a lesbian having sex with another lesbian. So that's what you need to understand about transgenderism. It's understandable, though it's just beautifully understandable. So that's what I mean. Now, in a trans woman can have sex with a woman or a man or both men and women. So that means a trans woman can be lesbian, can be bisexual, and can be lesbian, transsexual, lesbian, bisexual, and heterosexual when a trans woman has sex with a man. However, before they transitioned, they are actually, if their sex would be called homosexual, because before a trans woman transitioned to a woman, she was actually a man. So if she has sex with a man, it's a homosexuality that has happened. So that's why I'm saying transgenders are omnisexual. Good. Now the next one is queer. Yes, queer. Now you can be a queer lesbian, you can be a queer gay, you can be a queer bisexual. Queer just means weird, and all the sexual orientations that are like demisexual and all of these, they belong to the queer group. A queer person he's weird. Today I'm gonna sleep with men. I'm so fed up. Things are worked up my life. I just want to sleep with men. And it's a lesbian talking. And you'll wonder, but I thought you're a lesbian. Yeah, but today I'm just going to sleep with men. That's a queer. Now that's what you call a queer lesbian. Or sometimes a queer gay man, can be thinking about sex with a woman or have fantasies, but that's not what they do sexually. You see, so that's a queer gay man. And then a queer bisexual is just a bisexual who is very weird. Yes. So that's why they are omnisexual. Because what do you mean by omnisexual? You can either be a lesbian, a gay, or a bisexual. But lesbians are not omnisexual because it is strictly sex between woman to woman. Gay cannot be omnisexual because it's strictly sex with man to man. And bisexual cannot be omnisexual because it is strictly sex with both sexes. That's all. Now, and of course, bisexual is the closest, in the spectrum of omnisexuality, it's the closest to omnisexuality. Lesbians and gays are not close to omnisexuality. That's why lesbians and gays are homonormatives. They are the purest homonormatives. Bisexuals are heteronormatives, and all the other homosexuals, they are heteronormative because one part of their life or all of it is heteronormative, or they have the potential of heteronormativity. But lesbians and gays have no potential for heteronormativity. So they are the purest homonormatives. Good. Now we come to questioning. Questioning is a person who questions his sexuality. And sometimes it's because of they feel like maybe I'm gay. Then tomorrow, but I think I'm straight. Because sometimes I like looking at the opposite sex. Then but it's boring. So sometimes I really want to fuck a guy, and he's a man talking. So that's a questioning person. Even when they have sex, they don't really call themselves that sexual identity because they are not sure what they are. So that's what called questioning. So you can be a questioning lesbian, you can be a questioning gay, you can be a questioning bisexual. And when you're a bisexual, it means you're both straight and gay. So that's what you need to understand. Bisexuals are both straight and gay. They are both heterosexual and homosexual. That's what you need to understand about bisexuals. So when you are a questioning bisexual, it means you're going through, you really are very fluid in the hetero and homo. You're just going like that every day. You're questioning. Oh my, questioning is a very tough identity to live in because every day you're just switching. But I think with time, when you've got to know, the most important thing about sexual identity, know yourself. And when you get it, live it. Live it to the full. Now, those are questioning. Then we have intersex. Now, intersex are the most interesting omnisexuals because they have, first of all, as I said, our statement of the Rex Arthur channel and philosophy is that we are all intersexual, but some are more intersexual than others. What do I mean by that? Yes, we are all intersexual, but some are more intersexual than others. Intersexual in the sense that we have levels of intersexuality. All humans have male and female hormones. That means we are all hormonally intersexual. Then the second level is not so common, but it can be common. But it's not so common. It is the internal sex intersexuality. Internal sex organ intersexuality. Let's call it that. Internal sex organ intersexuality. Meaning internally you have a testis, but externally you have a vagina. You see, that is an internal sex organ intersexual. Internally they are intersexual, externally they are one sex. Then the highest level and the purest intersex is the one who has both sexual organs that are that are male and female. That's the purest intersex person. So that's why we are not all purely intersex, but we are all intersex. We are all hormonally intersex. Yes, because we have estrogen and testosterone. All of us. And some levels are different. So there's some people, they may not have internal sex organs and they may not have two sexual organs, but hormonally they have a high level of estrogen and they are men. These men, they don't even have beards, they look fat, they don't bald, So those ones, their level of estrogen is very high. And then you find even old men who are balding, they get high estrogen. That's why they grow fat if they are not careful. And that's what I told you about food. Food controls your personality. It shapes who you are. Never eat food that doesn't make you happy. You will be depressed. Yes. This is what happens in schools. There are schools where they cook bad food for children in the name of depression helps you to think. Yes, you know, some people want you to be depressed because when you're depressed, you can be creative. It's a weird world we live in. That's why these days, just live your life, do what you want to do. Whatever happens, happens. But I'm not saying you be fatalistic. Just live life consciously. Yeah. If things don't work out, it's okay. Try again, do this. But don't be fatalistic. You know, fatalism is just, let it be. I'm not even going to do anything. No, that's different. Just do what you can. So that's what you do not understand about intersexuals. So there's some people hormonally they are so intersex, but they don't even have testes inside. They don't even have an ovary inside, and they have a penis outside. But hormonally, they have a lot of estrogen, and that makes them look so feminine. You know, the man, he has hips. You wonder how did he get them. You go and check him. He has no ovary inside. But when you look at his estrogen levels, they are very high. Meaning when he eats food, he just shapes up. So what happens? That's him. So that's what you understand about the world. Now, so an intersex can be a lesbian. Yes, can be gay, or can be a bisexual. Or I think there is an error I've made in the sexual specific. We need to put straight people. But these days, straight is being put out because I don't think there's anyone who is purely straight. Yeah, it's not there. But for the sake of argument, the sexual specific group is the straight people, the allies. So I forgot to put that. They should be there in the sense that you can have an intersex person who is straight. But that is very hard. Can you imagine an intersex person who is straight? What is he? I mean, or what is she? Or what is it? What are they? If you're a straight intersex person, I think a straight intersex person, you can't be a straight intersex person. No, you can't really. It because, however, yes, you can. You see how language and sexuality is very nice. Yes, you can, because when you have sex, you can be intersex and you have a penis and a vagina. And the only sex you have is vaginal sex. So, yes, then you are a straight intersex. Then you can be a straight, a bisexual intersex whereby you have sex with men and women. And then you can be an intersex gay whereby you have sex anally or orally but no vaginal sex. So you're a gay intersex. And then you can be a lesbian intersex whereby you have a vagina and a penis, but you only have sex with your vagina. And when you penetrate your girlfriend, being a lesbian intersex, you don't penetrate her penally. You penetrate her maybe with your fingers or a dildo, but you don't use your penis, even if you have a penis and a vagina. So those are the lesbian intersex, gay intersex, bisexual intersex, and a straight intersex. So sorry, we have passed the others without including the straight people, but I think we did it when you discuss bisexuality, because bisexuals are straight and gay. Good. Now, that's intersex. Now we are done with intersex. Then we go to asexual. You can be a lesbian asexual. You can be a gay asexual. You can be a bisexual asexual, and you can be a straight asexual. What is asexual? Having a low sex drive. Completely low. You don't want to have sex. You don't masturbate. If you masturbate very little. Those are asexuals. But mostly asexuals are people who don't have sex. Yes, and they exist. So you can be a lesbian who is asexual. You can be a lesbian with a low sex drive. You can be a gay man with a low sex drive. You can be a bisexual with a low sex drive. You can be a straight man or straight woman and you have a low sex drive. And sometimes I believe some of these people who work in the Catholic Church, they are some of them are sexuals. However, I was told no, they are not. They check you to see if you are sexually active. If you're not sexually active or you don't have sexual potential, they don't take you in, because they value people who have a high sexual potential but can control the libido. So those are the people. That's why you see. You know why there are many scandals? If the Catholic Church didn't have, if it wants to have very few scandals, they should just only take up asexuals. There will be no scandals, because an asexual doesn't think of sex that much. Very low sex drive. However, that's not what happens. They take up people with high sexual or average sexual potential. So this is why there are sex scandals in the Catholic Church. It's because the nuns and the priests and the fathers and the brothers, they have an average sexual potential, meaning they can have, the desire to have sex is there, and sometimes to play with children, they now go for children, because children have no idea what is happening to them, and that's why they go for them, and that's why it's an issue. It's because these are sexually potential people. If they were asexuals, believe you me, there would be no scandal. Yes, because an asexual doesn't like being touched, doesn't like touching, doesn't like sexual intimacy like a sexual potential person. A sexually potent person likes sexual intimacy. Now, that is the asexual. Then the allies are straight people. Sorry, they were supposed to be in the list of sexual specific. So straight people are also sexually specific. However, there are straight people, and let's not take that away. There are some people who have died only having vaginal sex, so don't kill them. That's the only sex they know. It's okay. They are fine. They are okay, and they shouldn't attack anybody who has anal sex. And the others who have only had anal sex, don't leave them. That's our. Now, so allies, we don't need to go through allies. Now we'll go through the last group, that is pansexual. And pansexual is omnisexual, because a pansexual can have sex with any sexual orientation. So you can have a lesbian pansexual. This person is centrally a lesbian, but they can have sex with anybody. Then you have a gay pansexual. This person is gay, but can have sex with anybody. Centrally, they are gay, but they can have sex with anybody. But when they come back home, they are married to the gay man. Then you have bisexual pansexuals. This one is a bisexual, but can have, in their bisexuality, they can have sex with anybody. You see, a bisexual can have sex with a gay person, a bisexual can have sex with a lesbian, and that's what makes him a pan, or makes her a pan, is that she can have sex with anybody. So, and then you have the straight pansexuals. These are straight people who can have sex with anybody. That's why we have MSM, men having sex with men. Because there are some men, they don't call themselves gay, but they can have sex with a man. Yes, it's very possible. So that's now where you put MSM in the pansexual group, because and then gay men, they're very specific. They want to be the gay man. They have the idea of what the gay life is all about. And the same to bisexuals, and the same to lesbians. Okay, guys. Why have we done this? So I had to do this because in my introduction I used to say that you belong to one letter. And it's very good to keep on reading. What you need to appreciate of Rex Arthur TV and Rex Arthur Show, it is a channel that we are ongoing, we are learning on the way. Every day we get new data, we bring it in. We are very active professors. There's some professors, their professorship is based on work that was done 30 years ago. And let me tell you, they are still professors based on that work. So don't attack them. It's just that they're inactive in their academic activity. Then you have the active professors, which very many universities are encouraging, that when a professor writes a book, he has to update it after 2 years, so that, or else he will face, there are some disciplinary actions. Reason being, knowledge is changing every day. That's the disadvantage of science. Science is not static, you know. But in some areas, science is static. Like already, sexual sciences, science is very clear. It's food sciences that science is not static. Like one time milk can be bad, another time milk can be good. Another time because the milk quality of 1920 is not the milk of today. Because the cow of 1920 is not the cow of 2019. You see. So that's what you need to know. The milk is different because of the climate change. And the grass that the cows are eating, and the food, the food the cow ate in 1920 produced the milk that was given to humans in 1920. So that's what you need to know. So food sciences, they are not static. That's why, we used to complain, why are scientists saying chocolate is bad today, then tomorrow it's good, or this food is bad, then tomorrow it's actually good. It's because of that. The quality of the foods change over time. And then science is not, science is not like, let's study everything. Then after we've studied, then we come out and talk. No. If you do that, you will take 50 years studying. The time you now coming to bring the study of 50 years, it has been unraveled by a new thing that has happened that year. So I prefer learning as with time. I prefer bringing new data with time. That's why you see I used to say that all of us belong to one letter. But today we have discovered, the reason for this video is to tell you that you can even belong to 2 letters. Yes, you can be a lesbian who is a pansexual. You can be a gay who is a pansexual. You can be all of the letters. Yes. It's weird, because what is sexuality but doing the thing itself? So that's why the world is headed to, and is already in, sexual singularity. And it's really going to affect identification of human beings, because you'll have to be centered into one sexuality, like when you have an ID card. But I know as I told you, for lesbians, gays, and bisexuals, and straight people, they don't need to change their identity card because they are male or female. So the next group is the third sex. This is where you put transgenders, intersex, and other people who do not know themselves. You put them in that group. But basically, and actually, even in identity card, but we won't do that video today. We're going to discuss the people who really have to have an identity card, a special identity card. That to me is transgenders, intersex, and transgenders and intersex only. The rest can still use male and female gender identity, because a gay man is a man. Yeah. But a trans woman who was born a man has to and change the identity card to be a woman or to be a third sex. So actually, the only people who need a special ID card are intersex persons whose intersexuality is so visible. And that's what I was saying. The problem we're having now is, are we going to live in a transparent society, or a translucent society, or an opaque society? Transparent meaning everything is known about everybody. They know who you are inside out. Genetically, sexually, everything, biometrically, they know you. We're going there. That's where the world is going. We're actually going to a transparent system. And when we get to the transparent system, that's when there will be no more labels. They will be dead. But as long as we still live in an opaque system and translucent system, we need labels to know that this thing is present. Actually, we were arguing with somebody and they were saying, why do people identify themselves as queer? And I told them, Why do you have a name? It's to have an identification. You know, we can be nameless. The whole world can be nameless. But it's wrong because we need to know who did this and this. You see? So you get a name, you are born with a name. And that name is your identity. Then again, to understand, now you see identity is becoming deeper and deeper so that you can see what people are. And then you ask yourself, who is this guy who invented the car? What was his sexuality? You see? Like we now, computer science, do you know, we'd have never known that it was a homosexual who was a computer scientist, the father of computer science? We are so happy we know that. Why? It makes you understand that it could be that homosexuals are very intelligent for a reason we don't know. That's what science is doing. It's teaching people about who an homosexual is intellectually. Because every sexual orientation, there's what you call psychosexuality. It even governs IQ. Yes, lesbians. A lesbian woman does not think like a straight woman. Never. Never. A gay man does not think like a straight man. Never. It's impossible. Yes. And especially in some things. Okay, I'm not saying in everything. What I mean, a gay man can watch sports like a straight man. But there's in their thought process, there is a place where they will divert, and that is in sex. When it comes to sex, that man sleeps with men, but the straight man sleeps with women. So you can be in a stadium, and next to you is a straight man, and you're a gay man, and you're cheering the team, and yeah, and then you can even talk about. But then when it comes to sex, oh, sorry, I didn't know you have sex with men. I only have it with women. You know, I have friends like that. I have friends who are straight. Yes, I don't mind them. I understand them. I tell them, you have sex with your women, I have sex with my men. Let's live in harmony. So that, but we have common ideas. We have common thoughts. We have common views about life. So that's what people need to understand about life. That a lesbian woman is not a straight woman. And a straight woman is not a bisexual woman. It's beautiful, isn't it? All right, guys, thank you for joining us. That's the end of this one. And Rex Arthur Marathon is coming to an end in a few minutes.